Hi everyone. So this is a TikTok call to action, TikTok call to help. I think something really bad happened to my sister. Her name is Raina. I'm just looking for anybody that has been in contact with her or that has heard from her in the past month.
She was a star in a world that never sleeps. Karen Dunlap, better known as the Nude Queen, rose from obscurity to reign over a digital kingdom, her 82,000 followers hanging on every bold, defiant post. She thrived on the edge, a provocateur who turned attention into power. Until January 18th, 2025, when that power vanished, swallowed by the shadows of an abandoned Cleveland building. Raina's body was found there, alone, stripped of everything that defined her. No phone, no wallet, no trace of the life she'd broadcast to the world. The cause of death? A question mark, carved in the cold concrete. How does a woman who lives so loudly end up so silent? As the Nude Queen, Raina was a force, unfiltered, magnetic, a lightning rod for adoration and outrage. Her empire was built on daring, her posts a tightrope walk between art and scandal. She was everywhere, until she wasn't. Now all that remains is the mystery. What pulled her from the spotlight into the dark? This is Unreal Minds. In this episode, we step into the enigma of Raina Dunlap, a tale of ambition, secrets, and a death that defies explanation. Settle in. Listen close. The truth is waiting.
On January the 16th, someone discovered her in a far back room, and she was there with just her sweatshirt, a t-shirt, and pants, no socks, no shoes, and someone alerted a neighbor, and the neighbor alerted police.
Karen Dunlap, known to her legion of followers as Raina, was a woman of contradictions. Born and raised in the quiet, tree-lined suburbs of Prince George's County, Maryland, she was the daughter of Karen Jones, a dedicated schoolteacher who instilled resilience in her girls, and the sister of Kira Dunlap, a soft-spoken artist sketching her way through life. To her family, Raina was a force, headstrong, loyal, the one who'd fight for them no matter the odds. But beyond the picket fences and Sunday dinners, Raina built a different identity, one that burned bright and unapologetic across the internet. By 2024, Raina had carved out a digital empire under the moniker the Nude Queen. On X, her 82,000 followers devoured her every word. On Instagram, her 17,000 fans scrolled through a gallery of audacity. Her content was a calculated wildfire, artfully posed nudes, captions dripping with defiance, and raw, unfiltered takes on everything from body positivity to societal hypocrisy. A pinned tweet from July 2023 declared, "I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to be unforgettable." And unforgettable she was. A single post, a black and white shot of her silhouette against a Maryland sunset, could ignite 10,000 likes and a storm of comments, from worshipful praise to venomous backlash. "If you're not outraged, you're not paying attention," she fired back at a critic in October 2023, her words a spark that kept the debates raging. Raina didn't just court attention, she demanded it. Her online presence was a tightrope walk between empowerment and provocation, and she reveled in the tightrope's sway. But the screen was never enough. Raina hungered for a bigger stage, a platform where her boldness could leap from pixels to permanence. That platform was Baddies Midwest, the sixth season of the Zeus Network's gritty reality TV juggernaut. Launched as a spin-off of Baddies, the show thrived on its cast of unfiltered influencers, women who clashed, cried, and clawed their way into infamy. For Raina, it was a perfect fit. "It's not just fame," she wrote in a now-vanished Instagram story from September 2024. "It's legacy." She'd already crossed paths with Natalie Nunn, the show's fiery co-creator, at a Miami influencer bash in March 2024, and Whispers Online pegged her as a contender for the Cleveland-based season. In late November 2024, Rayna made her move. With Baddies Midwest gearing up to film, she packed a suitcase, kissed her mother goodbye, and told her family she was chasing her break. "She was always running towards something," her sister Kira later shared in a shaky TikTok post, her voice cracking. But this time, it felt bigger, like she was all in. Karen Jones, Rayna's mother, replayed their final call in an interview with a local Maryland blog. She said, "Mom, this is it. I'm going to make it happen." She sounded so sure. I believed her. I always did. Rayna boarded a flight to Cleveland, Ohio, her sights set on a casting call that could rewrite her story. Cleveland, though, was no Hollywood dreamscape. The Kinsman neighborhood, where Rayna's body would later be discovered, was a stark contrast to the glamour she chased. Tucked on the city's east side, Kinsman was a patchwork of boarded-up homes, cracked sidewalks, and a quiet that clung like damp rot. Once a thriving community, it had faded into a place of struggle, its streets echoing with the ghosts of better days. Rayna had always returned from her adventures, her Maryland roots a lifeline she'd never cut. But this time, the call didn't come. This time, Kinsman swallowed her whole. What pulled Rayna Dunlap, the girl from Maryland, the queen of the internet, to that desolate corner of Cleveland? And why didn't she make it back? On January 18th, 2025, Cleveland's Kinsman neighborhood held its breath. In the hollowed-out shell of an abandoned building on Francis Avenue, a place where time had stopped long ago, a grim discovery shattered the silence. Rayna Dunlap's body lay cold and still, draped in the dust of neglect. No phone, no purse, no sign of the life she'd lived so loudly online. Just Rayna, alone, stripped of everything but the mystery of her death. The building was a carcass of brick and broken glass, its windows gaping like empty eyes. Inside, the air was thick with decay, the floors littered with debris and the ghosts of squatters. Rayna's body was found curled in a corner, as if she'd sought shelter from the world that had once adored her. But there was no shelter here, only questions. No blood, no bruises, no obvious cause of death. Just a silence that screamed for answers. Cleveland police arrived with their notebooks and theories, their eyes scanning the scene for clues. By evening, they had a working hypothesis: overdose. It was a tidy explanation, a box to check in a city where such deaths were tragically common. But Rayna's family didn't buy it, not for a second. She never touched hard drugs, her mother, Karen Jones, insisted, her voice a steel blade of conviction. "I'd stake my life on it." Her sister Kira echoed the disbelief, her TikTok plea trembling with raw grief. She was healthy. She was fine. This doesn't make sense. But there was another shadow looming over the case, one that whispered of danger and digital fallout. Before her disappearance, Rayna had lit a fuse online. Her final posts were a powder keg. "I want all black men killed," she'd typed, her words a grenade tossed into the void. "Black women should admit they are men." The backlash was swift and brutal, a tidal wave of fury that crashed across her feeds. Had her provocations finally caught up with her? Had a stranger's rage followed her from the screen to the streets of Cleveland? The police filed their reports, the coroner took her body, but the questions clung like smoke. Was it an overdose or something darker? Did her words make her a target, or was it just a tragic coincidence? The truth was a phantom slipping through the cracks of the investigation. But Rayna's family refused to let this theory stand unchallenged. They knew her better than any case file ever could, and they were ready to fight for answers. When the call came, it shattered everything. Rayna Dunlap, daughter, sister, digital star, was gone, her body found in a forgotten corner of Cleveland. But for her family, the real nightmare was just beginning. They couldn't accept the police's quick overdose theory. They knew Rayna better than that. So they did what any family desperate for truth would do. They packed their bags and drove nearly 400 miles from Maryland to Ohio, determined to find answers themselves. Karen Jones and her daughter Kira arrived in Cleveland with one mission: to retrace Rayna's steps. They didn't wait for permission. They hit the streets, knocking on doors, handing out flyers with Rayna's face, a face that had once lit up screens, now a plea for help. They talked to anyone who would listen, from shopkeepers to strangers on the sidewalk. And slowly, pieces started to surface. At least 2 people remembered seeing Rayna. They'd spotted her shopping in local stores, her hair and nails done, her smile bright. She looked healthy, normal, not like someone on the edge of an overdose. These sightings were a lifeline for the family, proof that something didn't add up. If Rayna was fine just days before, what had gone wrong? Who had she been with? Back home, the family took another bold step. They launched a GoFundMe campaign, not just for funeral costs, but to fund a private autopsy and hire an investigator. They didn't trust the official story, and they weren't going to let it stand. "We need someone who will dig deeper," Karen said, her voice steady but laced with pain. They wanted the truth, no matter the cost. Then came Kira's plea. In a tearful TikTok video, Rayna's sister looked straight into the camera, her voice breaking as she begged for leads. "If anyone saw her, talk to her. Anything, please tell us. We're trying to figure out what happened. I'm counting on you." Her words hung in the air, raw and desperate, a sister's heart laid bare for the world to see. Yet, despite their determination, the mystery persists. The truth about Rayna Dunlap's death stays hidden, slipping through their fingers like smoke. The truth about Rayna Dunlap's death is a shadow, always just out of reach. Why was she in that crumbling building on Francis Avenue, a place with no tie to her dreams? Who was with her in Cleveland, and why have they vanished into silence? What happened in the 17 days between her last post and her lifeless body being found? Where are her phone, her ID, her lifeline to the world? And those explosive posts, the ones that set the internet ablaze, did they paint a target on her back? Rayna's heart was set on Baddies Midwest. She'd rubbed shoulders with the cast, even locked eyes with Natalie Nunn, the show's fierce creator. Cleveland was her shot, a casting call to trade her screen for the spotlight. But the Zeus network won't talk. No word on whether Rayna auditioned, no hint of her presence. Their silence is deafening. A locked door, no one's opened. What are they hiding? Rayna's story is a mirror to the influencer world, a place where fame is a siren's call, luring dreamers to dangerous shores. Behind every bold post, every viral moment, is a person, fragile and exposed. Rayna chased the light, but the dark was waiting. Her death screams a truth. The hunger for glory can lead to ruin, and no filter can shield you from the fall. The case of Rayna Dunlap remains a wound that won't heal. Cleveland police wait for toxicology results, clinging to their overdose theory, while her family fights for truth. Karen Jones and Kira Dunlap scour Cleveland's streets, chasing leads the authorities ignore. Their GoFundMe burns bright, funding a private autopsy and an investigator to pierce the fog of mystery. But each day without answers cuts deeper. A mother and sister left to carry their grief in silence. Raina's death is a stark warning. Influencer culture promises glory, but hides sharp edges. The race for fame can lead to dark corners with no safety net to catch those who fall. Her story demands change, better protections, real support for those who bare their souls online. No one should chase a dream only to lose their life. You can help. If you know anything about Raina's time in Cleveland, who she met, where she went, contact the Cleveland police or her family. Share their GoFundMe. Give voice to a woman silenced too soon. Every tip, every dollar brings them closer to justice. Raina was more than the Nude Queen. She was Karen, daughter, sister, dreamer. A woman who loved fiercely, laughed loudly, and dared to be seen. As her family prepares to bring her home to Maryland, they hold tight to her memory, not the headlines. This is her story, still unfinished, still waiting for the truth.